I never imagined I'd watch my dream home get flattened like a pancake, reduced to a heap of twisted beams and shattered drywall, with the acrid scent of demolition dust choking the air. That place wasn't just bricks and mortar, it was the culmination of endless weekends wrenching on plumbing, late nights sanding floors, and family barbecues under the oak tree in the backyard. But one power-hungry woman decided it stood in the way of her grand vision. Her name was Barbara, the iron-fisted president of our homeowners association in Sunnybrook Estates, a quiet suburb outside Dallas, Texas. With her ever-present planner and a glare that could wilt fresh sod, she ruled like a small-town dictator. She claimed it was all for her pet project, a fancy community fitness center nobody voted on. But she crossed the wrong guy. When you take everything from a man, you unleash a force with zero to lose. And that's when the real battle kicks off. Let me take you back to how it started. When my wife Lisa and I bought that fixer-upper on Maple Lane, it was a diamond in the rough 1950s ranch-style house with faded siding, a leaky roof, and a yard overrun by weeds. To us, it screamed opportunity. We were escaping the hustle of downtown Dallas for a slice of suburban bliss. Good schools for our two kids, Jake and Emily, and neighbors who actually knew your name. I rolled up my sleeves and dove in, replacing wiring, installing new cabinets, and even building a deck out back. Lisa joked I was turning into a weekend warrior at 45, but damn if it didn't pay off. By fall, the house gleamed. Fresh white paint, a manicured lawn, and that deck where we'd host 4th of July cookouts. It wasn't flashy, but it was our haven in a world gone mad. The neighborhood seemed idyllic at first. Picket fences, kids playing tag, folks jogging with their dogs. But lurking beneath was the HOA, led by Barbara. If you've lived in a Texas suburb, you know the drill. These associations enforce rules like they're the FBI. Barbara patrolled in her SUV, notepad ready, finding folks for everything from holiday lights left up too long to RVs parked in driveways. I figured I'd fly under the radar, pay the dues, mow on schedule, no drama. For months, it worked. She'd eye me suspiciously at meetings, but I kept it civil, nodding politely without kissing up like the others. Then came a bombshell. Barbara had her legacy initiative, a sprawling fitness center with weights, a sauna, and parking galore, supposedly to boost property values. Sounded harmless until I realized our lot was smack in the middle of her blueprint. At the quarterly HOA meeting in the community hall, she unveiled it with a slick PowerPoint, glossy renders of glass-walled gyms and paved lots. Folks applauded timidly, but I smelled trouble. This requires some relocations for optimal layout, she announced, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. Her laser pointer jabbed right at our house on the map. My blood boiled. "Hold up, Barbara," I said, standing. "That's my family's home you're erasing. You planning to relocate us to a tent?" The room went dead quiet. She smiled at shark grin. "Progress demands sacrifice, Mr. Thompson. For the greater good." Greater good? That phrase haunted. Might was code for screw you. I'm in charge. The harassment ramped up fast. First, a violation notice for our fence being 1 inch too tall. We'd installed it years ago, but suddenly it violated aesthetic guidelines. Fine threatened, $200. Lisa urged me to ignore it, but I knew Barbara was probing. Next came a citation for our kids' basketball hoop in the driveway, apparently unsightly recreational equipment. Then, an inspector showed up unannounced, photographing our gutters and mailbox like we were criminals. I confronted them. "Got a warrant?" They bolted, but I spotted Barbara watching from her porch, smirking. She was turning the screws, isolating us. Neighbors who'd shared beers with me now averted eyes at the grocery store. Whispers followed. "He's the one bucking Barbara." It infuriated me. How could grown adults cower to this bully? Things escalated when a lawsuit notice arrived late one night, served by a process server. Barbara had petitioned to deem our property a blight under HOA bylaws, paving the way for seizure. I stared at the papers, fury rising. This wasn't petty. It was an assault on our lives. That week, I came home to orange tags plastered on our door. Non-compliant structure demolition pending. Our once welcoming home looked condemned. Lisa cried. The kids asked why everyone hated us. I vowed then, over my dead body. But Barbara didn't wait. One afternoon, returning from work, I heard the roar of engines. Turning onto Maple Lane, my heart sank. Excavators and bulldozers swarmed our yard, ripping into the foundation. The deck splintered like matchsticks. Windows shattered in a cascade of glass. I sprinted forward, yelling, "Stop! That's my house!" Barbara stood there, planner in hand, unflinching. "Mr. Thompson, this is authorized. Your resistance forced our hand. You'll get fair market value." Fair? As if money could replace Jake's treehouse or Emily's painted mural in her room. I begged the operators to halt, but they shrugged. Boss's orders. Neighbors filmed from lawns, silent as ghosts. Barbara whispered, "You should have played ball. Now look what you've done." I nearly lost it, fists clenched, but violence would have played into her hands. By dusk, our home was rubble. We crammed into a dingy motel off I-35, kids sobbing, Lisa shell-shocked. That night, staring at the ceiling, I whispered, "This ends now." Grief morphed into grit. I hit the county clerk's office in downtown Dallas, requesting records. Jackpot. The demolition permit bore my forged signature. Digging deeper, I uncovered Barbara's web HOA funds diverted to her brother's construction firm for consulting, personal perks like steakhouse dinners labeled board expenses, even a Vegas trip as leadership training. Invoices were phony. Her family skimmed thousands. Neighbors confided horrors. One fined $500 for unauthorized flower beds. Another threatened with liens over a bird feeder. I compiled it all to mailings, emails, testimonies into a dossier. Barbara sniffed it out. She cornered me at the motel lot. "You're outmatched, Thompson. Drop this or regret it." I flashed a forged doc copy. Game on. Her facade cracked just a flicker, but enough. I hired attorney Reyes, a bulldog in fraud cases. He grinned at my evidence. "This is gold embezzlement, forgery, abuse." We sued Barbara and the HOA for millions. Wrongful demolition, fraud, and distress. The next meeting exploded. Reyes announced the suit. Barbara stammered. Neighbors murmured. Subpoenas flew, exposing her slush fund. She door-knocked desperately, spinning lies. "He's bankrupting us." But cracks showed folks shared stories, eroding her throne. One meeting devolved into shouts. "You extorted me over my shed." Barbara's gavel was useless. Trial day in the Dallas courthouse was electric. Reyes opened. "This is tyranny in suburbia." Witnesses piled on. Clerk on forgery, auditor on theft, neighbors on bullying. Barbara testified arrogantly. "I acted for the community." Reyes shredded her. "Was your spa day community funded?" The jury laughed. The judge frowned. Verdict, guilty on all counts. Sentence, 7 years prison, full restitution. As cuffs clicked, Barbara wailed, "I'm the HOA." "You can't." Deputies dragged her out, neighbors watching stone-faced. Relief washed over me. The board reformed elections, audits, no more fear. We got a payout, bought land in rural Collin County, HOA free. Build a new, bigger deck, wild garden. Life bloomed. Barbara's fitness center, abandoned skeleton, weeds claiming Edom monument to hubris. I drive by sometimes, waving at old neighbors now free. Losing our home stung, but it forged an unbreakable resolve. Bullies crumble when challenged. What do you think? Did Barbara deserve it? Or do HOAs need more power? Share your take in the comments. Whose side are you on, the homeowner or the enforcer? Let's debate.